we want to work with each other. We want to start small. We want to start around Lake Tana, which happens to be developed as the UNESCO Biosphere Reserve as we speak. And we want to focus on biodiversity issues.
Lake Tana is one of the largest lake in Ethiopia. It is a fresh water lake. And it is important as a national level, at the same time at international level.
We have to save our lake Tana because we have experience in our country that the lakes are disappeared. So Tana has a siltation problem because there are farming communities around, and we have to save it. Dividing the lake, the core zone, the buffer, and the transition zone. So we have to teach people how to benefit from the lake resources.
The items that we decided to work on after a fact-finding mission to Bahir Dar, which is the capital city of Amhara state, located right at the shore of Lake Tana, we want to focus on the tremendous importance of the church forests, which still have large number of indigenous trees available. This is of great importance for biodiversity conservation.
We find very isolated but diversified tree grove, which is in the church. But outside, we largely see only few species which are not indigenous.
Ethiopia has lost almost 97% of its previous forest coverage. 40% of the country are believed to have been covered in forest before. Now it's not even 3%. What if the church, for whatever reason they've done what they did in terms of protecting these church forests, what if the church would not have been the caretaker of this forest, if we would have lost this forest as well? That means we wouldn't even have the gene pool available to try to start repairing on a small scale some of these. Moreover, we also decided that we want to work on retrofitting buildings as climate change resilient buildings, simply by applying old existing technologies that are surprisingly not being applied on a larger scale, such as rainwater harvest for water security, for human consumption and for the production of human food. We decided to do this with one of the schools, and the school is located in Bahir Dar, which is inside the buffer zone of the planned UNESCO Biosphere Reserve, and with that we make a very reasonable and very concrete contribution for sustainable human living and for climate change resilience.
It's actually the first sites inscribed in Africa. The world heritage sites are from Ethiopia. I think the country took the lead towards this World Heritage Registration Initiative. So,
in that regard, I think it's particularly appropriate that the pre-planning expedition with regards to UNESCO sites and the functioning of UNESCO sites both in the Horn of Africa and then eventually in the Africa region, it's particularly appropriate that it's happening in Ethiopia, because Ethiopia, as you said, has a long history vis-a-vis its commitment to the World Heritage Convention, and then also, for example, just recently signed and had inscribed the Intangible Cultural Heritage Convention and also the tradition of mezcal in the register. And I think Ethiopia has done a great job at looking at culture from an integrated standpoint, linking cultural diversity, creative industries, cultural heritage, and tangible cultural heritage together. So seeing culture as a whole.
UNESCO does very important work in terms of preservation of heritage sites, of which we have many. And Ethiopia now has embarked upon making these heritage sites a source of income, a source of jobs, basically a source of poverty alleviation. The main thing though is again the collaboration factor between UNESCO, private actors and local communities and governments in ensuring that people derive benefits, people have a stake in preservation, and also in promoting these sites generally, globally, to the global audience, so that these sites are visited admired and known throughout the world.
As a country, our principle is sustainable tourism development. It should generate an income or job opportunity for the community, because at the end of the day, the owner of the destination or the attraction is the community. Unless the community is involved starting from planning to development, as well as if they are not benefited from that specific destination, who will care about the destination? So, you know, the main actor of a given destination are the community.
ህብረተሰቡ ከጎኑ መርጦ በእለቱ የሚከታተል የሚገመግመው ሲያስፈልግ የሚጥለው ጥሩ መሪ ከሆነ ደግሞ የሚያስቀጥለው ይሄ ገቢ ከጎኑ ሆኖ ለማህበረሰቡ በቤተ ክርስቲያኑ በአደባባይ ከቱሪስት ገቢ ያለውን ያው ነው የሚገባውን እያስተዋወቀ በየእለቱ በየሳምንቱ.
But still we are in a problem. Maybe that could be due to the problem of integration, due to the problem of synergy. Now this idea of UNESCO, Addis, is trying to initiate, to bring this synergy is really appreciated.
And what we are aiming at is also in support of the message of the United Nations Secretary General Ban Ki-moon, who during the Rio +20 said that the governments in the world can't stem all these questions of sustainable development by themselves. It requires everybody of us, it requires the public, it requires the private sector, it requires the NGOs, it requires the goodwill and the real motivation of all of us. And this is why we are trying to mobilize so many different agencies, including the EOC DICAC, because we have to foster those synergies. We have to mobilize education for sustainable development, culture for sustainable development, science for sustainable development. And we basically want to shift from gear 1 into gear 2, from less talking to more practice, to more action. And in order to go into that era, we want to host and organize together with the Ethiopian authorities and EOC DICAC a conference on UNESCO sites in Africa to celebrate UNESCO's 70th birthday in November 2015.